Although it's been known, we're here to announce the candidacy and platform for Michael Whalen and Mark Taylor. You know, over the last few years in Red Bank, the Republicans have won 2 of the last 2 elections. That hasn't happened in who knows how long. In addition, this year will be the first year in almost 25 years where we have an opportunity to take control of this town. This is a big deal. And this year we chose Mike Taylor and Mark, you know, Mike and Mark. Yeah, I get the M's messing. So Mark and Mike, we chose them this year because they're young, they have energy, they have the enthusiasm. And the folks that we're running against this year, Michael DuPont and Art Murphy. Over the last 10 years during the DuPont and Murphy era, we've seen unprecedented property tax increases. We've seen unprecedented water increases. We've seen unprecedented usage of municipal powers for personal gain, and we're going to make that case throughout the course of this election. So we're standing outside Monmouth Meads today, which is this area on Monmouth Street. Goes to show the council's biggest act of arrogance over the last few years. Despite protests from business owners, despite protests from citizens and residents, they still decided that they thought it would be better public policy to put these meters in right here. Does it? What's that?
Pay stations.
Pay stations. So to put these pay stations right here. The fact of the matter is it just shows the arrogance, and it exemplifies the arrogance of the Murphy and DuPont era. So first and foremost, I'd like to introduce Assemblywoman Mary Pat Angelini, who's going to talk about Mike and Mark and their campaign and their candidates.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Chairman. I'm very excited to be here today on a number of levels. First, to see Mike and Mark as young Republicans that are stepping up to the opportunity to make a difference in their community. I'm very, very excited. I know that they share the same values that I do as far as smaller government and personal accountability. I'm also very, very excited because Red Bank is a very, very special place to me. I grew up in Red Bank, just around the corner on Arthur Place. I walked to St. James every day for the most part of my education, and I also got married here in Red Bank. So Red Bank is a personal place that I love to come to, and I'm very, very excited about the opportunity for a change in leadership. The fact that the Republicans have won 2 of the last elections is really phenomenal, and it's under the leadership of Chairman Sean DeSoma and all of the other folks that are interested in making sure that Red Bank is moving in the right direction. So again, I just want to congratulate Mark and Mike, and I am here to fight with them, and I'm planning on fighting with them, taking their message to Trenton, and together we are going to be a great team, and I look forward to victory in November. Thank you very much. And now I'll turn it over to Assemblywoman, my colleague, Caroline Casagrande.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Chairman, for the invite. I am here because I am very excited about these 2 candidates. I'm going to start with Mike Whalen. He's been in Red Bank 10 years. He's a local kid. He went to CBA, like many of our esteemed friends that are in government right now, right? Like Curly. Yes. but most importantly, he spent his life giving back. He's volunteered in Asbury. He works day to day in the insurance industry, which is actually incredibly helpful when you sit on a council. There is such a cost involved to ensuring not only that towns, employees, but also your actual town structures, like the sidewalk right here, right? So that kind of knowledge is incredibly helpful. But what I'm most excited about is he's running for the same reason I ran. When I ran for the Assembly at 29 with Senator Beck, and everybody said, "You're gonna lose, you can't possibly win, you're too young." The other guy has so much money, they're so experienced, they're so entrenched, you got no shot. You know what I did that you're gonna do? And I already started it last year with some of my friends here. You're gonna knock on every door in this town. You're gonna knock on every door in this town, and you're gonna tell them your story about how you can't afford to start your family here, despite the fact that you've had a great education, you've been here for 10 years, and you wanna come back. And that's what we're gonna do. And that kind of enthusiasm, people are gonna get it. Because what we've seen from the last 3 cycles is they don't like what has gone on. I heard it at every door I knocked on last cycle with Sean DeSoma. year after year, people have had to pony up more and more money that, quite frankly, they don't have. And so then you create a situation where you have people leaving a place they love because they can't afford to stay anymore. Unacceptable. And that is a result of a series of terrible decisions and not enough scrutiny. Which brings me to my next candidate, who I am very excited about. Mr. Taylor is an attorney, and I think he'll be the first Republican attorney on Red Bank Council when you get there, which is important, because when the other side is stock full of lawyers, you should absolutely have a good Republican lawyer up there. He's a lifelong Red Bank guy, so you can't say the kid doesn't love Red Bank. The man, 32. And so he knows this town, right? You spent 32 years in this town, you know every street. It's a small town. It's part of what you gotta love about this place, right? Characters on every block. I went to high school here. Some of the people haven't changed. Even though I'm old now, it's still the same. But I think that kind of knowledge of the town and knowledge of the law and your desire to give back is going to be a story that resonates with Red Bank residents. So I'm going to knock on every door with you too, my friend, and we're going to have fun. And now I think you're going to hear from the woman who is the best senator in New Jersey, Senator Jennifer
Before I say a couple words about our council candidates, I also want to acknowledge the presence of our two councilwomen, Councilwoman Schwabenbauer, Councilwoman Cindy Burnham. I think probably haven't seen this much elected estrogen in one place in a long time, but women are slowly taking over the world. We just haven't told everybody that. So look, I served on the Red Bank Town Council for 2 terms as the lone Republican, and it is a great thing to see both Linda and Cindy up there. And the residents of this town are most concerned about their ability to stay here because it's a great town. The borough of Red Bank is a gem in Monmouth County, and the people here are living day to day, enjoying one of the best quality of life you can have in the Monmouth County area, and yet they struggle to pay their bills. It is an expensive place to live in terms of property taxes, an expensive place to live in terms of our water and sewer fees. And I do question oftentimes some of the decisions that are being made in terms of infrastructure proposals, like the spray park that was put forward last year for an area where there are very few children and wouldn't get much usage, and making that decision rather than looking at repaving some of our well-worn, storm-torn roads. In any case, I think we have 2 young men here. I know we have 2 young men here that are running because they love Red Bank. That's it. They love this town. They're residents of this town. They've invested themselves here, and they want to raise their families here. Mark, of course, has had a long history, gone through the public school system, and as a matter of fact, even in the primary school, right? You were at the Red Bank Primary School and went to RBR. And of course, Mike was a CBA grad and has been here for well over a decade with his family. We're very fortunate to have these 2 high quality, thoughtful, dedicated young men who are looking to work on behalf of the residents, and that's why they're running. They're running because they want to represent the residents of this town and speak on their behalf, not for any other reason. That is why we all should be in elected office, is to be the voice of the people. And I'm very confident they will do just that when they're elected this November. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Mark and Mike and let them say a couple of words.
Well, thank you. I just want to start by thanking everyone who's here today, supporting us. It means a tremendous amount. I don't even we can comprehend how much your support has already meant to us and how much it will be helping us keep going in the hot days and the cold fall, as we're knocking on doors, because we will be out knocking on doors. So thank you much to all of you for your support so far and continue. I'd like to give you a couple minutes just about myself briefly that hasn't been mentioned. Like Count Basie, I'm just a kid from Red Bank. I love this town. This is, as Jen said, one of the best gems in Monmouth County. I think it's the premier town on the shore, frankly. You can have your beach, you can have your seasonal places. Red Bank's a year-round, vibrant community full of diverse people that have just such unique stories and such a unique story to tell to generations. My family is, I guess, a second generation Red Bank now. My parents moved here a long time ago and raised us in this town. They chose Red Bank. So for me, it's very personal. And I am just trying to be the representative for the residents who want to live here, who want to just make their lives in Red Bank and raise families and own property and not be killed by crazy property taxes and inflated water rates. And that's basically my little synopsis. We'll have a little bit more to say. I'll let Mike talk about himself.
Hi everybody, Mike Whalen. Thank you so much for coming. Hearing all these powerful women speak, it means a lot. Next time I want to speak first because they kind of took everything and I have nothing else to say. They're with us in this campaign. I think we're going to win. Like I said, Mike Whalen, live on Maple Ave. I walked here today. I went to CBA, and when I graduated college, I went back to live with my single, hardworking mother. Because of the property tax and water bills, it's not easy to afford it, and every dollar counts. So I came home to live with her, and I was helping to start supporting the family. And it's been an amazing journey so far, and I think that I can get in here and really shake things up. Mark and I have a great platform. We're doing it for the right reasons. We're trying to help the people along Red Bank, not the poor. We're not going to, we don't want to benefit this in any way, financially, anything, like DuPont and Murphy have in the past, be able to fill their pockets. We're just two young, hardworking guys who, want to do what's best for the town, and that's really it. And I thank you again, everybody, and thank you for welcoming me and just being here last week or 2 weeks ago at Patrizia's. It was an amazing event and turnout, and now Mark and I would like to have a few points that we'd like to say about the platform.
So we chose this location. As you may have heard, there was a rather contentious argument over the installation of the pay stations here on Monmouth Street, which Sean touched on. Basically, the arrogance of Murphy DuPont just completely ignored the wishes, the desires of the local businesses, of the local residents, and pushed through their own agenda. And frankly, they did it irresponsibly. They authorized the payment to order these these pay stations before they even authorized the installation. It's just backwards and it's irresponsible, and it's not transparent. And so our tickets can stand for integrity, transparency, and accountability, things that are sorely missing here in Red Bank during the Murphy DuPont era. So we aim to change that. Accountability. We want to have live streaming council meetings. I don't know why we don't. These are public meetings. Not everybody can get here on 6:30 on a Wednesday afternoon, and we should be able to have the residents be able to participate even if it's online.
And also with emails, bringing up that every council person, councilman or woman should have a council email, a borough email. They should be able to communicate on council business through a private email. I mean, it doesn't look good, and that's something that needs to be changed. And we're all for that, and we can't wait to get in there and push that. Everyone should have a council email. Also, we were looking into the privatization of, obviously, garbage. It was brought up 2 years ago and then kind of put to bed. We want to get in there and bring that back to the front burner. I mean, obviously, that's, how much money is that costing Red Bank? So we can, look at all the other towns around us that have private garbage. Look what they get to save. So we would like to get in there and do that. And go to the next one.
The savings are obvious with garbage. Another proposal we would like to explore is the privatization of the water utility here in Red Bank. The rates are absolutely absurd. There's a new $2.2 million bond being heard tonight on the council agenda.
Come through.
And we're trying to make sure that we're spending that money responsibly. That money is being, we don't even know what that money is going towards right now. There's no line items, there's no cost, there's no expenses indicated. It's just simply a number that it seems like was picked out of a hat. So
It's almost like you need a psychic.
yeah, another good locational indicator here. You would need, So we're trying to explore the opportunity of possibly privatizing the water utility as another way to save money for Red Bank residents and lower the rates so you can afford to live here and raise your families here.
We also have a property tax reform and kind of a credit to give out, and we're going to express that and talk about that later on in the campaign. But we have a lot of good ideas. We're brainstorming every single day. We're getting together, Sean, Mark, and I, to do whatever it takes to, bring Red Bank even bread.
Our other
of course.
elected officials, yeah.
Without this team right here, none of this is possible. Without Sean, and Cindy, and obviously, of course, Senator Jennifer Beck and everyone's here. So, thank you guys so much, and anything we can do, we're going to do this together. Yeah.
No, and just I want to just give Cindy and Linda a minute to speak as well about what type of partners they need on the council here in Red Bank. So I'll introduce Linda first, and then Cindy.
Sure, great. Oh, good. I'm glad I have a topic because I really couldn't add much about these guys. Seriously. The one thing that did impress me, and I just do want to say this, is when I was working with both of them to talk about their platforms. You know, I kept saying, why are you running, why are you running, why are you running? And the thing that kept coming back was families in Red Bank. We want to keep families in Red Bank. We want the families that have been here for generations to be able to stay here. We want to start our own families here. And I was so inspired by that. And I think that that's really the platform that's going to launch you forward. As partners on the council, they're energetic. They have ideas. They are motivating. You know, Cindy calls me the numbers girl. I live my life, you know, head down in a set of debits and credits. It is inspiring sometimes to lift your head up and hear, but what if we did it this way? And that's exactly what I need. I need that energy. I need that inspiration on a daily basis. And I need those new ideas, those fresh thoughts to keep coming. And I think these are the guys to do it. So thank you so much. I'm so pleased that you're taking this shirt. I'm really looking forward to running with you.
Did you pass that bill? Did the bill pass? You didn't pass that bill, did
No,
you?
we did not.
That's a good thing. This is not going to be passed. Have a good day, you.
Have a good day.
Okay.
And Cindy will give you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cindy Burnham, and I am thrilled about this. I've been working on him for a couple of years, just like I was working on her, and then I found him on Facebook. But Mark's got a lot of history in Red Bank. Besides growing up, his dad was involved in the Board of Ed, and so he's got that background behind him. You know, and Mark has also been on the Parks and Rec Committee for a couple of years, so he's really got the knowledge, he knows the players, he knows the people, and he's going to do fabulous. And his girlfriend is also Ashley, I don't know where she is, but Ashley Homefield, and she is co-chairing the community garden with me. So I'm so excited about that. Now Mike is great, and both these guys are great because they're not politicians. They're just guys that want to make a difference. They're community-minded, they're committed to volunteerism. Michael just joined the Elks. Yes, he is a proud elk of Lodge 233 in Red Bank. I was his sponsor, and he just went in the other day and got inaugurated. Is that
Yeah, that was
is that
fun.
what we say? And he's got a lot of great ideas. He's a numbers guy too. Mark's a numbers guy. So we've got the numbers between Linda and these guys. I'm a Parks and Rec DPW girl. So I count on these guys to, you know, carry the numbers thing. But I know they're going to do a great job. They're going to be fabulous. And I'm hoping, you know, that it's going to bring change. If you really want change in Red Bank, you really want change, these are the guys. I say vote for them. Thank you.
So if there are just a few things you take away from today, number one is I think it's pretty clear, we need to have a council that can be partners to our representatives in Trenton, who, you know, I mean, let's be honest, every other year it's somebody from Red Bank is calling one of them horrible things in a campaign every 2 years, right? And not willing to work with them on public policy issues going forward. They need partners, and we have partners in Trenton. The partnership's there, we just need to elect the right people that can actually service that. Number two, we see all these bond ordinances, and we're about to go over to a council meeting and watch us vote on a bond that we don't even know. Well, we kind of know what it's for, right?
It's just the introduction.
Right. But so we're voting to introduce a bond, but what are the numbers behind it? There are none. You need a psychic to figure it out. Maybe Gina could tell us what's in those numbers, right? And that's the biggest issue. So the biggest issue is transparency. These guys are going to be transparent, unlike what we have, which are people who communicate via private email on council business. Gee, we heard about that recently anywhere? Right? So private email on council business repeatedly. Number two, we have people who are subcontractors for people that they're voting for. I mean, think about that. Art Murphy is a documented subcontractor for New Jersey American Water. He makes money, and then he votes on ordinances that benefits that company, and then claims publicly, not privately, but publicly to Cindy Burnham in a meeting that, well, that's not a conflict of interest. Right? I mean, does that make sense to anybody here? Does anybody think that that's not a conflict of interest? No. So, and then beyond that, we have two young guys who want to start families, want to stay here, are currently helping. One, you know, you have a guy who's 23 years old. He's got student loan debt, right? And instead of going out and trying to afford an apartment and trying to get an apartment, which he could, right? He could, and he had, but he's got to stay home and help his mom pay her water bill and help his mom pay her property tax bill. What kind of legacy have DuPont and Murphy left in this town that this is what we have? Mark Taylor's another guy. Law school, Widener, student loans. Just about every penny of that tuition, right? So Mark's working his behind off to try to get past that. So when Mark goes to buy a house, he has to take anywhere from, if you take the average property tax bill, add the water, and then use the pre-tax numbers on that, on the water, right, you're looking, $10,000 of his income is just to pay for Art Murphy's health insurance, right? Does that make any sense? So I think you guys have heard a reasonable alternative. We've got a plan, but we're going to continue to roll these plans out. We've got partners in Trenton who are willing to stand with us in Red Bank or anywhere we need them to. And so we're ready to go. So I think the only question is who's going to help us out and who's going to come knock on doors with us. Steve Rich from the Monmouth County Young Republicans is.
Right.
So, anyway, thanks for coming.